I know what you're thinking. You're wearing the same shirt as last time. And you would be correct, but that's just because I don't shower. Anyway, the second event of Boss Cup was made by Ramone, and this was a very cool, tricky level. Now, just like the last event, it just has a single apple and the flower, but the way to get to the apple and to the flower are very different. There are a few ways to do it, of course, but if we start focusing on this area to the right, we get an image that looks kind of like this. The start is here, indicated by the arrow, flower, and apple. The absolute fastest way would, of course, be to somehow start and going up here to the right and come down here, up here somehow, and then from here you go up here and get the apple. But I believe this is going to be very hard because you don't really have the speed to take this apple. You would somehow have to get up here, collect some speed and come back, but keeping momentum up here is going to be hard, and climbing up here in order to get enough momentum on the way back will be tricky, if at all possible. But then after taking the apple, you will come down here and just come up and grab the flower again. Now, another more maybe viable style would be to either start towards the left here and then come back up and up to this area, or perhaps start down to the right, but then come back up and towards the same area. Maybe you can get up straight here, but it's going to be a really high jump. But the idea is once you get up here, you can come around here, gather some momentum, maybe with some spin here, push from this polygon here, up, around, push somehow across this one, and then come down from the top. And then you will have enough speed easily to grab this apple and come down. Now, a third style would be to instead come over to this left-hand part. Start left again here, but instead of turning back, you maybe push from the ceiling here, come up this uphill, and then somehow make your way to the right here. Now, this would give you a lot of speed coming up here and towards the top part over here. But I believe this uphill looks kind of tricky. Maybe if you can get up here, you would have to hang and you would waste some time perhaps. So I guess we're gonna see. Now, moving up the results, we see sometimes above 1 minute, but then it starts to even out as we get below 1 minute around here. We see me and Elron, we started playing together this event. We used maybe not the best style, so we ended up at 56.07 and 56.30, but they were actually pretty decent times for the styles we used, I believe. Coming up here, we enter the top 10 and we see Losku actually with the first sub 50 time. And we'll start watching the replays from here and then see what happened. Now, Lusku starting towards the left. Is it going to be the full left-hand style or is it going to be a turn? Looks like a bounce turn here and then coming up, going towards the top route. And this is what me and Elron were not able to find. We opted to go right hand in the start first because we didn't find this push with Alo here that allows you to get enough height. So if you were to just keep going straight up and try to jump up, you would not make it. But by doing this push here with a little bit of break, you get just enough height through that push to get a good grip on the wall here with break, gas a little bit on the wall, and then just barely make it up. So a beautiful find to find this move here in order to get enough height so you could do the left-hand style in the beginning. And let's see, that's just the first part of the level. Now coming up and going towards this top route. And let's see, getting a few spins in here to get a good push from this polygon. Nice push, keeps a lot of speed. And then coming towards this uphill here. And beautiful clearance of this obstacle. And then coming in for the drop. It's a kind of awkward drop because you want to keep much speed. Nice push from the S in the Boss Cup logo. And then has well enough speed to come up here. Can even drive a little bit in the ceiling. Coming down here towards the flower. And then just basic break push. Beautiful run by Losco. Beautiful finds on those subtle moves that allowed him to do this style and allowed him to do it quickly. Moving on, in 9th place, we have Amo at 43.74, which is just a crazy improvement on Losco's time. How was he able to pull off a 6 second, actually exactly 6 seconds faster time? Let's find out together. Imo, starting to the left as well. Let's see, coming here, goes for a bounce. How is he able to save 6 seconds? Okay, he's not going up. He's not going for the top route. So he's coming down here, but he gathered enough speed by going left first. So he can actually come up here and then brakes and manages to get a vault in so he can get more speed for the uphill and then just climbing as high as you can. And then coming way back down here. Getting enough speed. I guess he does have enough speed somehow. He manages to just with a few volts barely get that apple. And coming down here and getting the flower. That's just beautiful stuff. So wasn't able to start left because I don't think he would have enough speed to come up. But by coming up here with some speed, he can push from this wall and then use this entire ramp on the way down so that he can come up here with an extra Alo here, can get a break on the wall, climb up, and then also get another Alo in here in order to push here, get enough speed so you can climb as high as possible on this wall. And here you just use like a combination of Alo and normal vaults to keep the back wheel down as long as you can, climb those few more millimeters that you can, and then coming back here. And then just saving all the speed you can, and even having to vault a little bit extra here to stretch the bike just that last millimeter to barely grab that apple. And then coming down here and getting to the flower. Beautiful style, beautiful run by Emo. But again, that's just 9th place. Moving up, in 8th place, we have Audi at 41.01, improving almost 3 seconds actually. Let's check out that replay. Audi coming here, starting towards the left as well. Is it gonna be some top route style, or is this gonna be the same as Emo did? Let's find out. Let's see, coming up here, and yeah, looks like it's the Emo style, but somehow 3 seconds faster almost. Different vault, he does a brutal vault before here in order to get up maybe more easily. Good push, a lot of speed for the uphill, and then climbing with some all-low, gassing down the front wheel. Coming back, maybe just a little bit faster climb actually. And coming here, let's see, looks like he has well enough speed to get the apple. Yeah, has a big margin there. Coming down, and then jumping up, getting the flower at 41.01. Really beautiful run by Audi. Moving up the list, in 7th place, Stefan Kiv. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name, but he improves yet another 3 seconds on Audi's run, which is just insane. So let's check out that replay and how he managed to get 38.89. Let's see, Stefan. Okay, starting towards the right here. But will he have enough speed for the climb? I mean, he must have, but let's see, coming up here, getting the push, getting an all in and break, and just barely gets up and still manages to get that all in, but not as clean of a push, so he has less speed for the climb. But he manages beautifully, but I don't think he has as much speed as Audi did on the way back here. But let's see, coming around here, and then just, yeah, a lot of all of us to stretch the bike is needed. But beautiful, he manages to get the apple, manages to guess a little bit on the ceiling there as well, and just barely gets a flower. That's just crazy stuff. So he starts right, and then comes up here. You can tell he has way less speed than the other replays we've seen, but he manages to get the brake push up here, and then he has to push a little bit from this polygon even to get enough height so you don't hit your head here, but you have enough time to clear so you can get the wheel down here, brake and push to get more rightwards momentum in the beginning of the polygon. Gas as much as you can here, and then jump, keeping the grip for as long as you can, gassing down the front wheel. But yeah, is not able to climb as high as the previous replays we've seen. And in order to make up for that, he goes for just a series of all vaults here to stretch the bike as much as possible. And then on the way down, just barely manages to clinch the apple with the front wheel. And then you have to counter all of this rotation, and he does so by hitting the polygon here. And then he even gets a little bit of gas here in the ceiling, which I think he needs. I think without that gas, he wouldn't have enough speed up here to reach the flower actually, which he gets again just by vaulting a few times, stretching the bike. Really beautiful run by Stefan. Just impressive stuff. And yeah, still only in 7th place. It's really nice. I haven't watched these replays for like 3 months, I guess. Or wait, this was in the beginning of the cup, so this is probably like 5 months since I watched these replays. So honestly, I don't remember what went down in this event, and I don't remember the styles at all. So it's really fun to see. But let's see, in 6th place, Jaws at 37.44, improving more than a second on Stefan's time. Now Jaws, starting towards the right as well. I guess this has to be faster, right? But again, you have less speed for the rest of the level, so you're making it really hard on yourself. But let's see, jumping up here, coming around, getting the all-low, push up here, and then getting the extra vault so you can get a push with Alo. Nice, beautiful push there, not losing the grip. and gets a good amount of speed up the wall. He comes maybe higher than all the other players so far. Coming around here and doesn't even have to do this super hollow stretch that Stefan did. Just a few volts to get a little bit more distance and coming up to the flower. Really clean run, really beautiful. I believe one of the secrets was this push that he does here, that he does with an, if he did a normal volt here, he would lose grip with the back wheel, but he does an hollow push here instead, as you can see, and that gives him a lot of speed and a good grip all the way up, almost never losing grip with the back wheel, so he can get a really high climb and gets the apple with ease. And now we're entering the top 5. In 5th place, JT. Now we saw JT winning the previous events, but only getting 5th here. Well, only, I mean, it's still an achievement, but surprising nonetheless, with a 36.90. Let's check out the replay. Now JT starting towards the right as well. Really awkward this first climb because you have 0 speed going up the uphill. But let's see here, coming around, getting the same kind of volts that everybody else did. 1 extra hollow push, then getting for the extra volt here. Normal push, not the hollow push we saw. Does that mean he will have less speed up the hill? It looks like he doesn't. Well, actually, he climbs really well, keeping the grip all the way up. Let's see, coming in here for the jump, and has to do the hollow stretching, getting the apple there on the way down. Getting a little bit of a push there, actually, by hollowing so much. That was actually a beautiful, like, coming down and coming up to the flower. Because, yeah, not able to gas in the ceiling, but by keeping vaulting here, he actually, like with the front wheel here, gets a push that gives him some rightwards momentum and manages to land okay. Okay enough to actually get the flower with ease. So beautiful stuff by JT, and we're moving into 4th place. Barry P. Impressive time by Barry P, beating JT, coming in at 36.62, improving almost 0.3 seconds. So we're jumping straight into Barry P's replay, and yeah, looks like the same start as we've seen the few times, as we've seen the last few times. Coming up here, gonna be the same thing most likely. Yeah, getting the push up here, getting the extra volt, push towards the right, so you can climb as high as you can. And get enough speed. Actually, very beautiful climb, gets really high on that one. And then coming around here, gonna be able to get the apple with ease, but has to do a few volts here as well, but can push with good speed and even gas a little bit on the way down there. Most likely that is what saves him that extra time. The climb was really good, so he can get a good height here. And then just pushing from the ceiling with brake here, and also getting some gas on the wall here, which just increases his momentum all the way throughout the end, and comes in at 4th place. Entering the podium, in 3rd place we have Blastek, the Norwegian Kusky, at 36.53, just barely beating Barry P actually. Blastek, coming here, does a little bit different kind of start, waits a little bit and then goes for an hollow. But let's see here, coming around and jumping up here, the rest is gonna be probably similar. But yeah, that start, maybe it's faster, maybe it's not. Coming around here, good fast push, like an early push to go as soon as possible. And good climb as well, chooses to stop the climb even. That's confidence, knowing you're gonna reach the apple. But let's see here, doesn't have to do any mega spins. Good push from the ceiling, good gas on the wall. Coming up here and then getting the flower. But yeah, this start was a little bit different with the hollow volt. Maybe it's faster, maybe it's not. I guess we're gonna find out by looking at the future replays. But with that said, we don't have that many future replays to go. In 2nd place, we have Mielc. The Polish Kusky comes in at 35.74, actually improving pretty much a second on Blastek's time. And I mean, the last few times have been really tight, so that's an impressive showing by Mielc. So let's check out that replay and see how he shaved off 1 second on Blastek's time. Now let's see Mielc. Also waits a little bit, goes for the hollow start here. Coming around, getting even a slight gas on the way down there. Really nice. Coming up here towards the hollow. Beautiful push. Coming up. Same kind of vaulting as the others. Actually dares to go very far right on the polygon there, which I guess saves time, but it gives you less speed for the climb. But no problems for Mielc. He manages to climb beautifully. And comes up here towards the apple. Good speed. Let's see if he gets a push from the ceiling as well. He does. Push with brake. Gas on the way down. Gas on the way up, and fast flower. Good push towards the flower. So look here, by just barely clearing the head here, he can even gas a little bit on the way down here, which, I mean, it's the tenths of a second that count, and anywhere you can gas, you're gonna save that time. And goes very far in for this push here. Most people try to do this push at the very end of the polygon so you can gas as much as possible before the climb. Mjelz doesn't care about that, he just goes straight for the climb and manages to keep good grip all the way there. Beautiful run by Mjelz, a well-deserved second place. And that only leaves us with first place. JT clinched the last event, but we saw him already here in 5th place, so that leaves one person and one person only, and that person is Zero. Zero clinches first place with a time of 35:48, beating Mjelz by 0.3 of a second and coming in first place with 100 points. Let's check out that replay by Zero. Let's see, starting towards the left and actually very quick on the gas. Doesn't wait to allo, just starts gas immediately. And let's see, coming up here, it's gonna be identical. Just really clean push there actually. Coming up, good speed. He doesn't even need to push from the polygon. He had so much speed he could just do the vault like free in the air. Coming around here, chooses to end the climb, gassing down on the way. Nice turning the front wheel down there. Getting to the apple easily, getting a good push in the ceiling, gas on the wall as well, and then, of course, man, it's Zero. He has to go for even a bounce in the end. But let's analyze that replay, maybe with a merge on Mjelz actually, just to see the differences that went down. So we'll be doing a merge with Zero and Mjelz. So in super slow motion, we see both of them starting down here. And actually Mjelz gasses a little bit to get the wheel higher. But as you can tell, Zero has started gassing by now and passes Mjelz a little bit. Mjelz goes for his first push here, whereas Zero has already gassed a little bit and pushed up. Now if we let up the speed a little bit, we see that Zero is actually leading, but Mjelz maybe clears the corner a little bit better. So Zero actually still has the lead a tiny bit, but it's a lead, and he won by just 0.3 of a second. So anywhere you can clinch like a tenth, that counts. And let's see, Zero had such a clean push up here. We can actually focus on Zero now. We see he's still in the lead as much as he was, but he had such a good push here that he doesn't even have to push from the polygon like Mjelz does. He does just a free vault here and a much faster vault, so he can already have the back wheel down and push, whereas Mjelz is still a little bit behind. And then Zero starts climbing. Now he extended his lead by maybe not a tenth more, but a little bit more. And then both just climbing really well here, keeping the front wheel down, keeping the back wheel. Zero chooses to end his climb here, and Mjelz does the same. And both of them start heading back. And Zero comes in with some beautiful turns here, quick turns with the front wheel, getting the front wheel down all these times. This is why he turns in the downhill. Let's look at that in full speed just to see the like quick turns in succession. Just keeping the front wheel down. And then pushing out here, coming up towards the apple. Zero still has the lead. It's basically what he got in the start, and maybe a little bit from the halfway up the uphill. And then both of them getting the apple here with some stretching of the bike. Zero getting a really early push down here with the back wheel. So manages to start pushing down and pushes down again with the back wheel. I believe Mjelz will do the same. He does. But Zero is still in the lead a little bit. Both coming around here, keeping those allos going because it's hard to stop them and get a good angle. But at least this way you can get a little bit of gas here at the end of the polygon. And Zero still only has the one wheel of a lead, which I don't believe is 0.3. But we know what Zero did in the end, maybe to save that last few, small amount of time, which was a bounce here, straight for the flower, whereas Mjelz does a break and a push. And most times a bounce will be faster than braking somewhere, so that's why Zero can reach the flower just a few moments sooner than he would have otherwise. The bounce here, boom, instead of the brake push, is what allows Zero to extend his lead. I mean, he was basically leading all the way through, as you can tell. But yeah, this is just a cherry on top with a beautiful bounce. 0 winning, Boss Cup Event 2. Really respectable runs from many players here. Many creative ways to do the fastest style. Also many beautiful runs of the slower styles were made. Really cool event, really cool level, really great replays. Can't wait to see what's in store for Event 3. Stay tuned and find out.